Hello coaster lovers. So if you're watching this video, you're probably 99% sure that you've heard of Cedar Point. This park has a whopping 17 roller coasters, and yes, I count Gemini's 2 coasters, and they even opened one of their 17 coasters this year with the Wild Mouse, and there will be an 18th coaster along the way if you know what I mean. Cedar Point is owned by Cedar Fair, and they love to work with B&M. B&M is a roller coaster manufacturer that creates famous rides such as Fury 325, for example, at Carowinds. Cedar Point has 4 B&Ms, so today I'm going to focus on one of them, and the one that I'm going to be talking about in this review is called GateKeeper, which is the roller coaster that I will be reviewing today. So today, I'm going to review GateKeeper at Cedar Point. Welcome to King's Coasters. If you are new here and rode GateKeeper at least once, King's Coasters will be for you, and consider taking a short moment to subscribe to support the channel. All the support is the reason why I make these videos. If there were no support, I wouldn't upload as many videos. So let's get started with this review with the history of GateKeeper. So GateKeeper is a winged roller coaster located at Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio. GateKeeper opened to the public on May 11th in 2013 and replaced 2 rides. The first one of these 2 rides is an indoor intimate bobsled called Disaster Transport. It opened up in the year of 1985 and it used to be known as Avalanche Run until 1989. Then the name changed into Disaster Transport. The second one of these 2 rides is the Space Spiral, which is an intimate gyro tower. You can find these types of rides such as Hershey Park, Carowinds, Six Flags Great America, etc. But there's a park out there that has one, but it's SBNO. Looking at you, LaRonde. Then both rides closed in 2012. Then GateKeeper took its place in 2013 and made a grander entrance for Cedar Point. And actually not that long ago, there was a crack in one of the support beams on the first drop. The same phenomena occurred in early July on Fury 325, but I hope it gets better soon. So let's move on to the stats. The height of the ride is 170 feet, a speed up to 67 miles per hour, and a length of 4,164 feet of track, and it features 6 inversions. So let's begin with the presentation of GateKeeper. So when you're in the parking lot of Cedar Point, you can see GateKeeper's iconic keyholes at the front gate. You can also see the entire ride layout, and it looks beautiful. Then when you're at the entrance to the ride, you can see the ride dive down the drop, and it looks intimidating. Then you put on your vest and dispatch, and that'll lead us into the ride experience. So you make a 180-degree turn out of the station, then ascend the 170-foot lift. On one side, you can see Lake Erie, and on the other, you get a fantastic view of the park. Then you crest the top, then you twist upside down into the wing over drop. You can also find this drop on X-Flight at Six Flags Great America. Then you go into an Amusement. Then you rise into an Airtime hill, which is kind of strange for a wing coaster, but do you get airtime? Not really. Then comes a corkscrew. Then after that is the most iconic part, in my opinion, the best part of the ride, the keyholes. The head choppers are pretty spooky, even for a person who doesn't notice near misses a lot, but that one scared me. Then comes a dive loop. It doesn't do much, it just flips the train into the other direction. Then the last inversion is coming up next with an unbelievably slow inline twist. The hang time is great, and then your misses are pretty good. Then you rise up into the mid-course brakes. I don't complain that much about mid-course brakes, it doesn't really slow you down that much. Then you drop down into what I consider the most pointless part of the ride, which is a helix. It just doesn't do anything, and it exists to make the length longer. Then you dip down into the final brakes, and that concludes your ride experience. Now it is time to examine the layout, and I will give my thoughts of it. So I think the layout for GateKeeper is solid. It has 6 inversions that you take at a slow pace, and it takes place near the parking lot and the beach. The only non-inversion elements that this ride has is pointless. I was talking about the helix earlier, but I think that helix is just stupid. Also with the airtime hill, it delivers little to no airtime, but I think the layout is solid. Not the best, not the worst. Now I'm going to discuss my thoughts. So I think this ride is underrated. So if you're trashing on this ride, stop. It's really good, especially if you're a fan of hang time, like me. And honestly, I don't really mind the vest restraints. They don't crush your torso like on Banshee and Valor even. These are light vests, and I think they are way better than the vests on the 2 other rides I just mentioned. I will gladly do this again when I visit Cedar Point for the 2nd time, and I highly recommend checking it out, and it's definitely the most underrated roller coaster at Cedar Point. And of course, the view is amazing, and it's really smooth. I haven't done wing coasters on the outer seats, but I can imagine it can have a little shuffle. Now to end off this review, I'm going to give out the final score for this coaster. So for the final score, I'm giving it a 6.5 out of 10. This ride is nowhere near perfect, like the layout for example, and that is why I took off 2 points. The airtime hill and helix are completely irrelevant, but looking past those two elements, this ride is just floating like there is no gravity. And why I took off another point and a half is that it's not the most forceful coaster out there, but I know I sound like a spoiled coaster enthusiast, but this is the only time that I'll be a bit spoiled. The positive forces aren't that strong. It reaches its peak at the bottom of the first drop, then the rest is kind of forceless, but I can look past that. This ride is great. So what are your thoughts on GateKeeper at Cedar Point? If you enjoyed this review, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, and it would be a blessing if you subscribe to the channel. And I can't believe that we're a little quarter to the way to 200. You coaster lovers are just unbelievable. This channel is going to hit 200 in no time. Thank you for all the support, and you can post your thoughts or anything else in the comments below. And if you are satisfied with this video, don't worry, here's a video for you, and only for you. So make sure to keep that adrenaline pumping, and thanks for watching.